What's up, everybody? This is Sea Lunch Sports. You're listening to Kennedy Curley and Hayden Klinkhammer. Follow us on at Lunch Sports on Twitter if you haven't followed us already. You can follow me at Kennedy Curley 44. Curley is Curley.
And I'm that boy Klink. Capital T, capital B, capital K.
Yep. So got to get that out of the way. But just to go ahead and start things off, the last few days, some stuff has happened. Tom Brady just today got an extension, a 2-year extension on top of what would have been his last year of his contract this season. It was a 2-year, $70 million extension, so that extends him through 2021. And that would put him in the league until he's about, 45, I think?
Yeah.
44. He would play his 40 as a 44-year-old and turn 45. Yeah. He just turned 42 yesterday, so there's that news. And as well as we've been doing lists for a while. If you haven't checked them out, you should. Especially the running back one, but we had the running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and I think we did DBs sometime recently, so check those out. But we've been doing lists for a while, and the NFL players have as well. They did their top 100, and it was released fully earlier this week. They've been doing it in a series, of course, but so we're going to go over that. We're also going to talk about Tom Brady's contract, but yeah, that's pretty much it as of now until other stuff comes about, but let's go ahead and start on the Tom Brady contract. So what are our reactions to Tom Brady getting extended?
Well, for starters, I know Ian is happy. But at the same time, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a 44-year-old. I'm just kidding. I can't even go there. Yeah. Totally deserved. I don't think there's any question. At the very least, he'll still be effective, I think. So, yeah, I think this one's pretty there's a reason it's not super big deal, everywhere. It's kind of a pretty normal thing, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting paid a lot of money, but I don't have a problem with that because he's the greatest player of all time, or definitely the greatest quarterback. You can argue whatever you want as far as players because of the positions, but I think that he's easily top 2 if we're being mean to Tom Brady. I think anyone and their mom would probably, with a brain, say that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. And so paying him that money, I don't have a problem with it, especially since he's, still, in our opinions, a top 3 quarterback. In some people's opinions, he's still the best quarterback in the league. Just won a Super Bowl. But I will say, I don't think that this is something that has no downsides like some people might think. Some people think, he hasn't really shown aging. He just won a Super Bowl, whatever. It wasn't like his season was mind-blowingly great this year. He was really good, but it wasn't like last year he won the MVP and he deserved it. This year there were some steps. There was some signs of aging just a little bit. It wasn't like
it helps when you have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, I mean, and part of it was Gronkowski was not the same Gronk, and Edelman wasn't playing for the first few games, and he was pretty much your number 1 wide receiver. So it wasn't like they had the most talented wide receiver core. So maybe that could attribute to the small loss in some of his stats, but overall still a great quarterback, so I don't think that there's any issue with extending him. And I think that, in my opinion, Brady will retire if he isn't good. If he's he just falls off the map, I think that he'll probably retire, and then you don't have to worry about his contract really anymore. So I don't think that there's that.
I don't know if I'd ever go as far to say he'll fall off the map.
Well, he could.
I just think at the very least he'll still be a very effective quarterback just because of how smart he is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason, like we talk about, in a big-time game, I'd take Tom Brady over anyone right now, even still. He just – I don't know. I just, I don't know if I'll ever go as far to say that, he's fallen off. Yes, he will there will come a time where he won't be a top, at the very least, 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. But, again, he'll still be better than most just because of what's up here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't anticipate him falling off this season. I don't really anticipating him falling off the map in the new contract.
Mm-hmm.
But it can happen. It was different. So Peyton Manning, he was good, and then eventually just dropped off. It was very quick. But with him, it was a little different because he had, those neck surgeries and his. I mean, a lot of his was physical, whereas Tom Brady, he doesn't really get hit like that, and he hasn't had the same type of injuries. So I could see his decline being a little bit more progressive as opposed to or more gradual as opposed to just a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
But it could happen. I just, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But overall, deserves the contract. But I do think that there are some. You always got to prepare yourself. I think that now is probably the time. Who's their backup quarterback?
That's a great question.
We've probably even been saying this for the past 8 years or so, ever since they drafted Ryan Mallett. But it's always been time to draft a new quarterback so that they could groom that guy behind Tom Brady. And I think now it's is Tom Brady how long is he? Is he going to stay around? Because they did that with Ryan Mallett. They did it with Jacoby Brissett and Garoppolo, and so now they probably still should do it.
It's Jarrett Stidham, Brian Hoyer, and Danny Etling.
That's right, Jarrett Stidham. So, yeah. Yep. Well, there's a short topic on that one, but that actually segues into our next topic. He was ranked 6th on the NFL players list. Now, spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched our QB ranking list, their top 4 we all agreed, you, me, and Ian all agreed on the top 4, just in a little bit of a different order. You and I both had, was it Mahomes, Breeze, Brady, and then Rodgers.
Yeah.
3, 4. Yep. Ian had Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, and then Breeze, I think. Yeah. Right. You and I were close to being right, according to the players. You and I had, the players had Breeze, Mahomes, Brady, and then Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now, I know Ian thought we were kind of disrespectful to Tom Brady by having him as low as 3.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the players agree with us. Apparently they had him at 3.
From 2019, if I don't know. I don't know.
As far as we were saying, we weren't saying that he's a bad quarterback because being 3rd is great. Exactly. It was just it's just a matter of there was a little bit of a fall off. It wasn't it wasn't immense, but it was a little bit. It was a little bit. Yeah, it was noticeable. But still one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and playoff Tom Brady was great. Super Bowl, no one was great. No quarterback, but
that was
Brady made one more play than Jared Goff, and that was another guy who you and I both had on our list.
Yes.
That was actually pretty high according to the players. So enough there. Let's just go ahead and react on, some of the guys who we may think are underrated, overrated on the list. Just general reactions.
I'm looking. So I see Alvin Kamara here at 14. I'm looking for Saquon. I'm looking for Zeke.
Well, Saquon's only at two below Alvin Kamara.
Are they ahead of? Shouldn't they be ahead of Alvin Kamara?
Are NFL players scouts?
No, I was just asking.
I'm just wondering, man.
Interesting. Oh wait, wow. Here's Saquon at 16. Oh, Zeke's here at 18. Is Zeke gonna play this year?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They had Zeke at 54 last year. Did you realize that?
Yeah, he missed a whole bunch of games. I would have had him at 54 too, if I could be on the field. Andrew Luck is really high to me at 20. That's really high to me.
Yeah. I don't know what it is that people see in Andrew Luck. You and I've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm. You know, I think he's a solid quarterback,
Same.
but I'm not. I'm not as high on him as I think a lot of other people are, and I know you feel kind of the same way.
Yeah, like I actually don't have anything really against Andrew Luck. I just don't think that he's spectacular at the moment. He's
Yeah,
pretty good. He
yeah.
throws a lot of interceptions relative to the rest of the NFL, but
Mm,
other than that, he can make plays. It's just there are quarterbacks we've listed that I think are better. I think that obviously Tom Brady is up there. Aaron Rodgers I think is better. Aaron Rodgers only threw like Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions. Neither does Tom Brady. I
yeah,
think this year was a down year for Tom Brady as far as interceptions, and he
yeah.
still threw less than Andrew Luck.
Mm,
Phillip Rivers I think is easily better. Pat Mahomes obviously.
uh,
I would have taken Russell Wilson over
I would too. I would
over
too.
Andrew Luck.
I don't get what that logic is. That's
Yeah.
I think I struggle with a little bit.
I mean,
But
I do get it a little bit. Like when you watch Russell Wilson, it's not like he's dominant in really any facet of his game, but
mm,
he's pretty much he's like the Mike Conley, but I'd say probably better at quarterback.
yeah,
Um, not disrespectful to Mike Conley, just Russell Wilson has his championship. He is consistent. He can run. He can throw the ball. He's smart, and he's not really an interception thrower either. So I would take him over Andrew Luck,
yeah.
easily.
Hang
But
on. We're not gonna let you skip over the fact that you're disrespecting my favorite player in the NBA.
Mike Conley's your favorite player in the NBA. You like him more than LeBron? I
Uh,
like Mike Conley, man.
I know you do. I just like proving a point.
Just
Another thing, Deshaun Watson is literally at 51 compared to Andrew Luck at 2020. That's completely absurd.
yeah, that's
That's
ridiculous.
absurd. That's absurd. I would have Baker over Andrew Luck. I still
Really?
I don't get what, again, the same thing like you said. I don't get what the super hype is about Andrew Luck.
So
Um, yeah.
sorry to switch from Andrew Luck, but I'm Baker Mayfield was one that I was gonna comment on him too. I
Hmm.
like Baker Mayfield, and I
Hmm.
think that he has a good future.
I know where this is
Um,
going.
but I think that he was actually really overrated. Like I almost think that the players didn't put him there. I almost think that the NFL Network decided that for fan buzz that they wanted to put Baker Mayfield in the top 10 because the media they've been talking about him really
Hmm.
over the past like month.
Hmm.
It's been big on Baker Mayfield, and I understand why because you have Odell Beckham now.
Hmm.
Um, you know, you brought in Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb is in year two. Jarvis Landry's already there, year two of their matchup, and then Njoku should hopefully make that jump. But just based on last season alone, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions as a rookie is really good. I
Hmm.
don't think it's better than Deshaun Watson. I don't think that it's better than
Yeah, I think I have an issue with that.
yeah. I don't think it's better than Jared Goff or I'm trying to see who else. Matt Ryan even. I know you don't like Matt Ryan, but
Oh.
um,
He's
just
in the
based
what?
on last
Matt
huh?
Ryan. Where's Matt Ryan at? Matt Ryan.
69. He is ranked at
Yeah,
69. He was 29 last year actually, which is
he should be 269. Freaking joke. Matt Ryan.
just a hater.
He's terrible.
He's not. Oh man,
He's terrible.
they had him 9 spots over Kirk Cousins. I think that's a little disrespectful. I think he's not the best
I'll
big game
take
player.
hey, 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 I'll take
He's
Kirk
a
Cousins over, I'll take Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan.
get up, get.
I, I will take Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan.
I would take Kirk Cousins just off of last season over Baker Mayfield.
See, you're trolling.
No,
Uh,
not.
and I was just getting ready to say something
No, but
nice
he
about
was
your.
good. I don't think he's top 10 yet. My thing is, so the players it seemed like they punished not punished, but they wanted to reward the guys who had been in the league for a long time. So like that's why, honestly, you and I both have Saquon Barkley as better running backs than Alvin Kamara, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they had Alvin Kamara over Saquon because Alvin Kamara has done it for 2 years now. Saquon did it for one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Otherwise, I'm really not quite understanding what was going on there. But that's one instance.
You
Leighton Vander Esch is pretty
agree
low. With what?
with AK being above Saquon?
No, I don't. Um, I think that you could make the case for him being better than Zeke, and I would disagree, but I could see your logic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley, I think there are two. Okay, yeah, no. Saquon Barkley, I think you could say he's the best running back in the league, and you might actually be able to convince me that. I had Todd Gurley, but if someone made a great case to me why Saquon is the best running back in the league, I might be willing to flip my pick. But that's not the case with Alvin Kamara. That's no disrespect to him, but Saquon is actually just that good.
All right.
Like I might wake up tomorrow and decide I want to put Saquon as my number one running back.
I had Saquon at number one. So I'm not mad at that. I agree a little bit. Because Pat Mahomes is at 4 after throwing for 50 touchdowns. Granted,
MVP.
He's in a great system and has great weapons around him, but at the same time, yeah. So this is interesting here because Jalen Smith is at 61.
Yeah.
And LVE is down at 74, but all you hear about is LVE. And outside of really, hardcore Cowboy guys, you don't really hear about Jalen Smith. So, And I actually like Jalen Smith better than LVE. I thought LVE was a little bit overhyped because he was a white linebacker that came from Boise State,
Yeah, and played 6-man football or something like that.
Yeah. So
and his name's Leighton.
yeah, exactly. I actually like Jalen Smith going forward much better than I do. Then again, Jalen Smith, before he had that terrible injury, was considered probably the top linebacker in the class, I would say.
Some people thought he would go number one
in the draft. Yeah. So, if he plays anywhere close to that potential, again, the Cowboys have 2, in my opinion, top 20 linebackers in the NFL going forward at the very least.
Yeah, that is something interesting that you brought up was I was thinking that too, but so during the season, so I love Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith is probably my favorite player on the Cowboys, just because I love he's exciting to watch. He's athletic.
Again, you're one of the few. I know Ian talks about him a little bit, but
I want to get his jersey. Yeah, that's the next jersey I want to get.
Yeah,
have no money.
Outside of mainstream Cowboy people, you don't hear his name.
Yeah. I agree. So when I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised to see Jalen Smith over Leighton Vander Esch, because that was something I was telling my roommate in the season was I actually think Jalen Smith might be better than Leighton Vander Esch. Vander Esch is good. He had a really good rookie season, and I expect him to improve. But just based on last season, I think that Jalen Smith is, a 61. Was it 61?
Yeah, he's at 61.
61 is appropriate for him, in my opinion. And we're seeing his athleticism continue to come back.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he could be, top 40 next year, maybe even higher. I don't know, but
yeah. So also something that I found really interesting, Darius Leonard is up at 26. Luke Kuechly's at 24, but then obviously Bobby Wagner, who I don't think anyone can really argue there. Von Miller is listed as as a linebacker. Does he still play? I thought he plays end for them, but I could be wrong.
Possibly. Honestly, I've seen him listed at linebacker. It's probably one of those things like, you know how James Harden played shooting guard all these years?
Yeah.
He's kind of their point guard. That's probably the same thing where, like, Von Miller's a defensive end, but he's just always been listed at linebacker.
I just saw this and it made me want to throw up. Mike Evans is at 53.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You're right. He shouldn't even sniff the top 100.
He should probably be like top 30.
Oh my. He's above.
I mean, based on
he's above Larry Fitzgerald. That's so disrespectful.
What did Larry Fitzgerald do this year? Did he do anything?
He's Larry Fitzgerald.
Do you think Luke Kuechly should have been ranked 24?
No, but I also don't think you can warrant, because last year he was at 12, and it's not like he played awful this year. He's just getting older. So I don't think you can. I think dropping him 12 spots already was quite a bit. But I've also just really, really despised Luke Kuechly because of how annoying he is on being on a division rival. Like I hate playing the Panthers, not even because of Cam, because of freaking Luke Kuechly.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I will say this as well. This is something I texted you immediately after about, but I think the disrespect to offensive linemen on this list is actually appalling. You only had one top 50 offensive lineman, David Bakhtiari for the Packers. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then on top of that, you're telling me Zach Martin. There are 58 players in the NFL right now better than Zach Martin.
Last year he was at 71.
Yeah, they were wrong last year too. You couldn't tell me 70 players. Let me tell you something about Zach Martin, okay? He's been in the league 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many Pro Bowls he has?
5.
You know how many All-Pro first teams he has?
4.
3. Rookie season, third season, and last season. So there's not really been a drop-off in Zach Martin's game all throughout these 5 years. He's been the same Zach Martin pretty much every season.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to tell me that there are 58 players better than Zach Martin? Now, to be fair, they did have him as the best guard, but
AJ Green, yes, is better. Danielle Hunter, yes, is better. Joey Bosa is better. Xavier Howard's better. Calais Campbell's better. Mike Evans is not.
AJ Green is not better than Zach Martin.
Yeah, that's see.
Xavier Howard is not. Calais Campbell is good, but he's not. I actually don't know much about Danielle Hunter, so I'm not gonna dog on him. But let's see. Yeah, Mike Evans probably isn't better than him. I'd say Zach Martin is top 30.
Mike Evans 30.
Yeah,
top 30.
You can't undervalue offensive linemen
for a guard.
Yeah. You got guys like Aaron Donald on the inside, which granted the Rams destroyed. But I can't.
How'd that work out? Kennedy?
So I just fought myself. No, look, Zach Martin, All-Pro, 3 of his 5 seasons, and as far as I'm concerned, I didn't see him line up against Aaron Donald. You know how it is. Like sometimes it's the other guard that's guarding Aaron Donald. Sometimes it's the center. You know. But Zach Martin's not. He's really good.
So Zach Martin didn't get destroyed by Aaron Donald. He got destroyed by Ndamukong Suh. Is what you're saying?
So he might not have gotten destroyed at all, but the rest of the offensive line was. Tyron Smith, I like Tyron Smith a lot, but I wouldn't put him over Zach Martin right now.
I wouldn't either, but I think him playing tackle has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I see what you're saying.
I think tackle boosts a lot of guys when it shouldn't.
See, I think the guard position is a little undervalued though, and I say that because
I do too. Personally, I do too.
Tyron Smith was on that Cowboys line for a few years, and the line was okay. It really wasn't even that good, but he was good. And then it wasn't until Zach Martin came that the Cowboys became the dominant offensive line, the best offensive line.
And Travis Frederick.
Yep. Zach Martin came after both of those guys. And
Yeah.
that's when it really hit. Now, of course, it helps having those pieces, already there. But you talk about the Colts too. The Colts didn't have a good offensive line, and then they drafted their guy. I can't remember his name.
Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson, and
Man,
that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're actually a pretty good offensive line.
No, I agree. I was just trolling you. Yeah. Zach Martin should definitely be above Tyron Smith. I don't even know who I didn't watch the Packers at all this year, but whatever. You want to put him in the top 50 because he's a left tackle, that's fine. But yeah, to have Zach Martin at 59, it's way too low. Way too low.
I've talked about enough about the players who I think are too high, and Zach Martin's one of the guys who I think is too low. Another guy I think is too low. I think he's one of the more underrated guys in the league. It's Christian McCaffrey. Love Christian McCaffrey.
I know. He was above AK on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it's close. It's really, really close. Like I almost flipped it during the episode, probably even just to appease you maybe a little bit. But I couldn't do it.
Probably.
Couldn't do it. But 42. It's not like an insult necessarily, but I think I'd put him a little higher just because I'm really high on him. He's a great receiving running back. He's a great running back. If you take him out of that Panthers offense, I actually think that they have nothing. It's just Cam Newton. Their wide receivers are bad. Their offensive line isn't all that good. It's Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, and he still does an amazing job. So I think as far as valuable running backs, like you take them away from their team and it causes the most impact, I would probably say him and Saquon are the most valuable by the definition. That doesn't mean they're the best, but the most valuable. Maybe not Saquon though, because they're trashed with him and trashed without him. But you know what I mean. Like he is everything to them, and Christian McCaffrey is close to everything to that offense, in my opinion. I'm trying to think of those.
Shout out to my boy Jamal Adams, going from number 100 to all the way to number 37.
Eddie Town, baby. Sorry, he's from Dallas area. Got to represent.
And everyone knows, yes, he went to my favorite college of all time. So, yeah. Plus, I just love the way he talks to everyone on the field. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him. He had something. What did you say?
I said Khalil Mack jumped all the way to number 3.
Yeah. Well, you saw how, that Bears defense, I thought Khalil Mack was good, and then he went to the Bears, and
I would, I would almost go as far to say that he makes more of an impact in terms of getting to the quarterback than Aaron Donald does.
Yeah, that's completely fine. In my opinion, you could say that Khalil Mack, like some people said, he could even win MVP, and I didn't think that was the first time in maybe my life that I thought a defensive player winning MVP actually wouldn't be that ridiculous. Now, of course,
J.J. Watt.
Yeah, that's true. J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
when he became J.J. Swat.
Yeah. He had that unbelievable season. But I completely agree. I agree.
But Pat Mahomes deserved. I'm just
no.
As far as defensive players, I could absolutely see the case being made for Khalil Mack being better than Aaron Donald.
I like Khalil Mack personally better than Aaron Donald. But then again, my second favorite team is the Bears, so that's a little bit
Yeah. Well, I mean, and as far as just this season goes, Aaron Donald did destroy. As far as defensive tackles go, sacks, you don't see anything like what he did at defensive tackle.
Aaron Donald's insane.
Yeah.
He's out of this world.
Yeah. But as far as just overall play, overall impact. I think Khalil Mack might have been better this season, just this season, but those sacks probably are what Aaron Donald, what makes him number one, and then also Aaron Donald's been consistently the best at his position. So I could see why they had it, but that's a good point.
No, I don't have an argument with it. This year, not at all, for sure.
Yeah. And then Antonio Brown.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about that.
Yeah, him being above DeAndre Hopkins is a joke.
Yeah, I even think it's a joke that he's above Julio Jones.
Julio Jones is overrated, but okay.
You said yourself you don't have a problem with people saying he's the best wide receiver in the league.
I agree, but I don't think he's God at the wide receiver position.
He's more godly than Antonio Brown. This year.
Yeah, what the
and even a season ago, you could have made that case. I would have actually had Antonio Brown better then, but...
Yeah, no, I just think, you're Julio Jones, you're that big, you're that fast, you're that strong, you got to get in the end zone. Also, catch the ball with two hands, you bum. What is that video that everyone's talking about? Oh, look at him jump so high. He dropped the ball. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Did he drop the ball?
Yeah, he dropped it. No,
I don't see what. Yeah, he was out of bounds. He was out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. I thought that was kind of a funny reaction by everybody.
We were in my Saints group chat. We were laughing our asses off because everyone's like, "Oh, look how high he jumped. Julio's gonna be in trouble this year," and he was out of bounds.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree, but I also thought it was funny.
4 touchdowns in practice.
You said something like. You called him mediocre in your Twitter post, and then I responded. I had to respond to that.
Hang on. We're gonna clarify what I said.
Okay, that's fair. I don't want to twist your words.
Oh my gosh, this was. Where are you? You ugly.
Today's Obama's birthday?
It is?
I think so.
Happy birthday to the true MVP.
It's my mom's birthday, too. Happy birthday, Mom. I already called her, so,
Good shout out.
Obama.
Also, let me read this. I thought this was very interesting. Julio Jones has 3 touchdowns against the Saints in his 8-year career. 4 fumbles. He has more fumbles than touchdowns. He's contributed more to the winning.
I'm not even laughing at anything you said. I'm laughing at your reaction just in general to that whole thing. So that was great.
Julio Jones can fly, except he was out of bounds when he caught the ball. Hang on.
Hey, they didn't say he could catch.
I said, LOL, not even a catch. That's what happens when you are celebrated for not scoring touchdowns. Being mediocre becomes praise.
Being mediocre. I think that's a little disrespectful.
3 touchdowns, 4 fumbles. Is that mediocre? Or actually, that's not even mediocre. That's trash.
I'm sorry, is that all that Julio Jones has done in his career?
All I can say is what I've seen him do.
Well, what I've seen him do.
How many touchdowns did he score this year, Kennedy?
8, actually.
8.
Pretty respectable. It's not a lead or anything, but it's respectable. Let's see. Second most yards ever in a season, 2015. 1,400 yards in a down season the year after. 1,450 yards last year, and 1,677 this year.
Yep.
The lowest he's had in the last 5 seasons is 1,409, so 1,409.
2017, how many touchdowns?
3. Hey, look, man. man's getting down the field. I mean, if someone else is scoring, someone else is scoring. But look,
2016, how many touchdowns?
6. You know how many yards per game he has over just his entire career? 96.7.
Yeah.
I'm tired of you. I'm done with your antics, your trolling. We should rename this podcast to One Genius and a Troll.
He got 3 touchdowns in 2017. Oh. Oh. Also, oh, I'm sorry.
Also, what? What were you about to say?
What's his catch rate? Yeah, it's been kind of bad.
Are you talking about like drops or just catch percentage?
Catch percentage.
See, I don't like that stat as much. The reason why is because if you're overthrown but you're targeted, that falls into
catch the ball. You're the god at receiver position, right?
No, I didn't say that.
Who's the best receiver in the NFL, Kennedy?
Julio Jones.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he's the god of wide receiver. You said that he could be argued as the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. That does so. You said it's okay for me to have him at number 1, you know, but now you're acting like it's like I'm calling him God for having. No, you approved. You approved. Okay.
He got 3 touchdowns in 2017.
Look, man. Does he make Matt Ryan or does Matt Ryan make him?
They're both. Matt Ryan is awful.
Whoa.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't.
Okay. I'm glad you caught yourself.
Matt Ryan's bad. All right.
I wonder what Julio Jones would do with a good quarterback then. But let's see. I don't know if there's anything else on this list that really bothered me or pleased me. I can't really. Ooh, Myles Garrett was number 49. Dude, that guy's really into Dragon Ball Z. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh man, sticking up for the nerds.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm telling you.
Gig 'em.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Those are all my reactions. I don't know if you have any more.
No, I'm just looking at some of the stats here for Mr. Julio Jones.
Once you get on a roll, you just can't stop, can
you? I'm sorry. He had 3 touchdowns in 16 games. Oh.
And would you have said who were the top 2 receivers in that season?
That's a long time ago.
2017.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Give me a second. Kennedy, I pay attention to like 6 different types of sports, so technically that was like 8 seasons ago.
Look, man, that's horrible logic. First off, second, 2 seasons ago, everyone was arguing: is it Julio Jones or is it Antonio Brown? It was one of those 2. You could say, I guess, Odell Beckham, but I think Odell Beckham is consistently rated highly because of his talent, but isn't actually on the field enough for me to put him as a top receiver, like the number 1 in the league. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. I just think it's funny. Julio Jones had 3 touchdowns. I would say Antonio Brown and DeAndre Hopkins.
2 seasons ago?
Yes.
I hate you.
Why?
Because you can't acknowledge greatness from someone like Julio Jones, man.
The man had a 59% catch rate and scored 3 touchdowns.
DeAndre Hopkins had a 55% catch rate.
But he scored 13 touchdowns.
And he had 300 less yards.
Oh, 300 less yards. I'm sorry.
Wait, actually, no, I could be wrong about that.
He had 1378 to Julio's 1444.
Okay, yeah. Still less yards. And let's see.
But he had 10 more touchdowns. 10.
That's great. Who else? That's great. You know what? I'll respect it. But I not really actually. I don't know, man. Let's see. Yards per target.
Yards per target.
Yep. Julio Jones had more yards per target.
Mm-hmm.
Considerably. That season. This year, really different, but.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they both had about the same this year, but. Well, I'm done talking about Julio Jones because I just you can say DeAndre Hopkins is better than him now, and I'm okay with that. Say the same thing about Michael Thomas, and I think that's maybe a little disrespectful, but I'm not gonna punch you in the face or anything. Just a little bit. I think if you put Julio Jones with Drew Brees, Julio Jones might be the god of wide receiver.
You could say that about anyone.
Nah, not anyone. Was Marquise Colston the god of wide receivers? By the way, shout out to
Marquise Colston is the most underrated receiver probably ever. He never made a Pro Bowl. Marquise Colston never made a Pro Bowl.
Look up his stats too.
Let's do it.
I'm not even arguing with you, but
no, I know
he wasn't the god of wide receivers.
No, I agree, but
Drew Brees didn't do it to him.
Oh, Kennedy, now you're trying to be blasphemy.
No, I'm what? I'm what?
You're trying to speak blasphemy.
I'm what?
You're trying to.
You said Julio Jones, and you said mediocre. What was your tweet? I'm going to find your tweet.
I said that's being mediocre. I have the exact tweet right here.
No,
being mediocre becomes praise.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
When you catch the ball with one hand instead of with two, and you step out of bounds, that's being mediocre. That's why you only have 11 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons.
You know what, Hayden? You're mediocre.
I'm not being. Oh my gosh.
You're pointing at one stat and saying that he's mediocre, and then ignoring the entirety of the elite stats that he has. The elite athleticism that he's shown.
You're right. He has fantastic athleticism.
He's really not slowing down. I mean,
you are completely right. Fantastic athleticism.
Where would you rank him all time?
All time?
Yeah, just a wide receiver. You don't have to put him at a specific spot, like top 5, 10, 15.
Top 20.
All right. Look. Thank you to everyone who's listened.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I'll say conservatively top 15.
I would probably put him at top 10 personally, but
I'll say conservatively top 15.
Conservatively top 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Conservatively. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps things up.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time on Julio Jones, but I enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed me defending Julio Jones, who's
3 touchdowns.
Awesome. Legendary.
Not
God.
That's great.
But anyway, yep, that's everything. So follow us at Lunch Sports on Twitter. Follow me at Kennedy Curley 44. Curley is Curley, and follow Hayden at That Boy Clink, capital T, capital B capital H.
K.
Sorry, K. Sorry. And we actually won't probably be going on this week. So don't expect us to come on really anytime this week. I'll be out of town until I think the 10th. Yeah, next Saturday. So the earliest I'll be able to do it again is the 11th. So we'll see y'all next week at some point. But have a great rest of your week. And don't be ugly like Hayden. Thank you. We'll see y'all later.